Ni siku nyingine mpya tunakutana katika kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo. Kila siku mpya tunajifunza jambo jipya kwa kina na uketo. Hii leo ni upanzi na utunzaji wa strawberry. Hujambo na karibu. Mimi ni Laban Shaban.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.
Mmea wa strawberry hukua vyema katika maeneo yenye joto la kadri, mwinuko wa mita 1500, mchanga tifu wenye rutuba. Na kama unataka kupanda strawberry, itabidi utafute maeneo yenye mvua ama itakulazimu unyunyize maji mara kwa mara. Matunda ya strawberry yana matumizi mbalimbali kulingana na uhitaji wa mtumiaji, jamii na maeneo. Miongoni mwa matumizi hayo ni pamoja na kuliwa kama tunda, kutia ladha katika aina mbalimbali za vyakula, kuweka rangi, harufu na nakshi katika vipodozi, kutengeneza marashi na kadhalika. Strawberry inapooteshwa kwenye greenhouse hutoa mavuno mengi na yenye ubora. Ephraim Warutere ni mkulima wa strawberry katika eneo la Thika, kaunti ya Kiambu. Ni kupitia Warutere ambapo tutajifunza kuhusu upanzi wa strawberry.
So here we are doing strawberry farming, and we have different varieties of strawberries, but specifically the one that is most popular in Kenya because it is high yielding and it has also sweet fruits. It is the Chadra variety. That is what we have grown here. And the strawberries are rich in vitamins, in minerals, so they are quite healthy source of food. And they also they can either be eaten fresh or they can be processed into jam, yogurt, milkshakes. They are also used in cosmetic industry. They are also used to extract strawberry flavors that is used in different products. So the list of their uses is endless. The other beauty with the strawberry farming is that you can do the strawberry farming even with very limited space. You can either plant strawberries directly on the ground as we have done here. Also you can plant them on containers. So even if you don't have such a piece of land, even at your backyard or even in your veranda, you can still be able to grow strawberries and get that rich and very healthy fruits for your family. Here we have done about an eighth of an acre to start with, but we are expanding. This is the starting point, and we are expanding. So that's why I'm saying from what we have seen is that even with an eighth of an acre, that is enough to start giving you good income. It can self-employ you. So it is this venture is also very suitable even for our youth who probably they have gone to colleges, they are finished, but they are yet to get jobs. Even as they look for a job, they can still keep themselves busy with such kind of farming, and they will still be able to earn handsomely.
Ephraim Warutere hakuwahi kujua kama atakuwa mkulima wa strawberry. Ila kwa mpigo, siku moja aliponunua strawberry, ndipo aliona kuna soko kubwa ya zao hili na kwamba ni rahisi kufanya. Anafanya hii kazi kama hobi, ila imetokea kuwa biashara kwake. Ni mhadhiri wa uhandisi wa umeme katika chuo kikuu cha kilimo na teknolojia cha JKUAT.
For the fruit, for it to ripen, it requires about a minimum of 6 hours of sun per day. So, of course, with that in mind, it means that they can grow in many parts of our country. They will grow in many types of soil, so long as the soil is well drained. That is, it is not waterlogged. Of course, it is not very sandy, because again, in sandy soil, the retention of water is not as much. So after you have selected your site, from there, it is to make sure that the land does not have a lot of obstacles that will bring a lot of shade, because as we said, they do well when they are exposed to a lot of sunny periods. So if you have some tall trees in your farm, probably you can cut some of them so that the land is well exposed and the plants will be receiving sun most of the time during the day. So from there, it is the land preparation. Of course, if it is a virgin land, initially the land need to be plowed deeply to soften the soil, probably up to about one foot. From after that, after the land preparation, from there you need to make the beds like what we have here. When you are planting the strawberries on the ground, the beds, what is most important, it is the spacing. You realize that the spacing, the recommended spacing for planting the strawberry, it is 30 centimeters between the plants and the 45 centimeters between the rows. Like what we have done here, we have planted 3 rows, and this had required us our bed to be at most 4 feet wide, so that from there we can be able to fit 3 rows of strawberries, but of course maintaining the spacing of 30 centimeters between one plant and the other. Once you have the beds, need to be 1 foot high. You need to raise the beds 1 foot high. If you decide to plant the 3 rows as we have done, make your beds 4 feet wide. But if you are doing 2 rows, that time you can make it to be 3 feet wide. That's about 1 meter. So the choice is yours there. But the bed again need not to be so wide, because if you make it so wide, it means that you will not be able to access the plants on the inner rows, because you are not, it is not good to step on the bed. So the width of the bed should be such that you are able to access comfortably even the inner rows when you are on either side of the bed. So after you, again the bed, once you are making the bed, make sure that it is dome shaped. You make it dome shaped because like now here we are using the plastic casher, as we are using the polythene paper as our mulch. I'll highlight the benefits for using this so that when you place the paper, if there is rain or if you have done some irrigation, the water will not stand on the bed, because if the bed is flat on top, it means that when there is water, the water is going to remain. You may have some water remaining on the bed, which is not suitable, because when the fruits are formed, they are resting on the bed. So if there are spots on the bed that has water, it will make the fruits to rot. So that is why we make it dome shaped, so that even if it rains, the water will spill away. And the bed, the top of the bed where the fruits will rest on, will remain dry. Then after you have made the bed, before of course you place your paper, you need to mix the soil. You need to mix the soil with rotten manure at a rate of 20 kg bucket for an area of 1 square meter. You can also add about 20 grams of DAP or another suitable planting fertilizer. Then you mix that with the topsoil. And of course make sure that the soil on top it is smooth. So from there, it is now you need to place this plastic paper mulch. Of course, the strawberries will require mulching. You require mulching for a number of reasons, and there are mainly 2 types of mulching that you can use. You can use the straw mulching, like for the grass or the rice stalks, or you can use the polythene paper mulching. The purpose of the mulching it is to keep the fruit clean, because it's a low lying plant. So when the fruits emerge, they tend now to rest on the ground. So if they come into contact with the soil, they are going to rot. And of course also the soil has many other insects that can pierce the fruit. So that is why it is good to have the mulch. Again, the other purpose of the mulch is conservation of moisture and also even weed suppression over the other one, because the other one also can, especially during the wet times, it can act as a hiding place for insects and even other pests like the slugs, the garden slugs and the snails. But now with this plastic mulch, it acts as a deterrent, because especially during the hot periods, it becomes so hot that there is no insect that is comfortable to remain underneath it. That could be disastrous to your strawberry. These areas where we reside, we don't have a prepared type of paper, polythene paper, so we just buy a roll. Then from there we punch the holes according to the spacing that we said, 1 foot between the plants, and they also for 1.5 foot or 45 centimeters between the rows. So we cut it before on a flat area before we come now to place it on your bed. The length of your bed will depend on the shape of your land. What is most important, it is the width. The holes should just be large enough that you can be able to insert your palm during the planting. They need not to be so wide, because if they are so wide, if you make the holes to be so big, you'll have a problem with weeds emerging through those holes. Again, you don't want to make them so small, because you are going to restrict the growth of the crown of the strawberry. So they just need to be big enough, probably the size of the fist. So you can either use a sharp knife to cut, or a scissor according to the distances. You come and place now the sheet of the polythene paper on top of your already prepared bed. And from there, then the sides. Of course, when you are cutting the polythene paper, it needs to be wide enough Like now my bed, if my bed is 4 feet wide, the polythene paper I'm using, it is 6 feet wide. So that once I place it on top of the bed, it is going to spill over. 1 foot on that side, 1 foot on this side. From there now, you can either use soil, and you place it now along the edges of the polythene paper to hold it into place.
Natumai mtazamaji unafuatilia kwa makini kuhusu kuandaa shamba lako ukisubiri miche ya strawberry. Sehemu ya pili ya kipindi hiki tutaangazia mchakato mzima wa upanzi wa strawberry. Usiondoke hapo ulipo.
Na ukikaa nasi basi utaboresha kilimo.